Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today. This is your primetime destination. News, newsmakers, talking points, news without the noise. We are going to break with what primetime TV across this country does. More noise and less news on other channels. Here, you get the news without the noise. That's our aim at least. The big focus tonight. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's latest formula. He believes people should have more babies to reverse or check delimitation and give the southern states more political influence. The politics over delimitation, but more importantly, whether this is the right slogan to give your people more babies. Also, what is the fitness code for cricketers? Sunil Gavaskar joins us on a day when Indian cricket captain Rohit Sharma finds himself in a completely unwanted controversy sparked off by a Congress spokesperson. But our breaking news at this moment is coming on that big face-off that's taking place between Ukraine and Russia just 3 days after Vladimir Zelensky and US President Donald Trump had their spat. Now France has got into the act and proposed a 1-month partial truce between Russia and Ukraine. The France foreign minister has said this ceasefire deal could reveal if Putin is working in good faith or not. The France foreign minister is saying the war frontline is now getting closer to us. US and France, remember, are pitching this deal amidst the US seemingly backing Russia and the uncertainty over what happens next. So the big story at the moment is coming on that war in Ukraine. France pushing for a 1-month ceasefire deal. Will this be the latest attempt to try and broker a peace? Can it work? Let me go straight across. Okay, let's go straight across to Gita Mohan, our diplomatic affairs editor. She's been tracking every move. Gita, it seems at the moment that whatever happens globally is making the headlines in India. Is this a serious offer? Do you believe France is simply responding to what we saw 3 days ago between Zelensky and Trump? Or is there a genuine belief in Europe that this is the time to strike a deal?
Well, Rajdeep, I seem to be coming to this hot seat more often than any other reporter journalist. But coming to the story, it is a one-sided proposal right now. The French, a very desperate Europe right now, is looking at, because America has given up in a way, not supporting Ukraine anymore, looking at Russia, saying that whether if Russia is going to hold true to a proposal that has been put out, a 1-month truce. Russia's already dismissed it. Russia does not have to adhere to anything that the Europeans are saying right now. So it looks like a very difficult space now that Europe and Ukraine will have to navigate.
So is this Europe getting more and more desperate, particularly after the uncertainty, after the Trump-Zelensky meeting? We are hearing the British Prime Minister, now the French Prime Minister, they all seem, French President, all of them seeming desperate, looking for some kind of option which is almost like a face saver for Ukraine.
Absolutely. They have been. The Europe summit, which also included Canada, Rajdeep, they all came together. They're looking for solutions. They want a truce. They want to see whether if Putin can hold that truce at least for a month. But for now, Moscow is at a very advantageous position. Trump has sided with Moscow. That's very clear. Zelensky did not have his game cap on when he entered that room, the Oval Office. He should have been more prepared, knowing what Trump did to Starmer just a few days before. So at this point in time, it looks very difficult for Zelensky. And
so this is a face saver. What you see is this is one of the attempted face savers.
It's an attempt. It's not even a face saver.
Okay.
Because Moscow has rejected it.
Okay. Gita Mohan joining us there, telling us that this is at best a formula thrown up by the French, which Russia has rejected. Gita Mohan, thanks very much for joining me at the top of the news today. Let's go and turn domestically, because there's lots happening back home, and nothing bigger than the big delimitation row that's growing by the day and week. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin today asked people in his state to have more children, saying that the delimitation process, which is based on population census post-2026, could then ensure a greater proportion of seats for the southern states. Have more children, increase your population, and thereby ensure that the South's Lok Sabha seat share and voice in national decision-making is not diluted. The BJP is terming Stalin's call as fear-mongering. Either way, delimitation could cause a major fault line between North and South India. Take a look.
No end to politics over delimitation. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's big population push amid fears that southern states will lose representation once Lok Sabha constituencies are redrawn based on the 2025 census. Stalin has urged people to consider having more children as delimitation can be done on the basis of population census.
கொஞ்சம் பொறுமையாக இருங்கன்னு சொல்லிக் கொண்டிருந்தோம். இப்போ சொல்ல வேண்டிய அவசியம் வரல, சொல்லக்கூடாது இப்போ. ஏன்னா மக்கள் தொகை அடிப்படையில் இடஒதுக்கீடு அந்த நாடாளுமன்ற எண்ணிக்கை வரும் என்று சொல்லுகிற நேரத்தில் நமக்கு எண்ணிக்கை மக்கள் தொகை அதிகம் இருந்தால்தான் எம்பிக்கள் அதிகம் வரும் என்ற நிலை இன்றைக்கு உருவாகி இருக்கு. ஆனால் நாம் குடும்ப கட்டுப்பாட்டில் கவனம் செலுத்தி அதில் வெற்றி கண்டோம். அதனால் இந்த நிலை நமக்கு ஏற்பட்டிருக்கிறது. ஆனால் இப்போ யாரும் உங்களுக்கு குழந்தைகள் நீங்கள் அவசரப்பட்டு பெற்றுக்கொள்ள வேண்டாம் என்று நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன். உடனடியாக பெற்றுக்கொள்ளுங்கள்.
Successive governments in Tamil Nadu had implemented family planning policy in the state successfully. And Stalin's new declaration contradicts the policy pursued by the state for many decades. Earlier, Amit Shah had clarified that southern states won't suffer due to delimitation.
तमिलनाडु के मुख्यमंत्री और उनके सुपुत्र दोनों तमिलनाडु जनता का ध्यान भटकाने के लिए कुछ मुद्दे खड़े कर रहे हैं. मोदी जी ने निश्चित रूप से आपके सभी हितों की रक्षा कर डिलिमिटेशन में आपका एक भी सीट प्रोरेटा कम न हो, इसमें उचित हिस्सा दक्षिण भारत के राज्यों को भी मिलेगा. इसमें कोई शंका रखने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Hitting out at CM Stalin, the BJP accused him of trying to provoke the people of Tamil Nadu.
This meeting is unwanted, uncalled for meeting. Irresponsibly, Mr. Stalin, to hide his government's failure in the last 4 years, deteriorating law and order issues, violence on women, and attacks on children, school children, girl children. So, absolutely, the governance is totally mismanaged.
CM Stalin has called for an all-party meeting on March 5th to discuss the challenges posed by delimitation. The BJP has decided to skip the meeting. With Pramod Madhav in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big questions. Has delimitation politics now gone too far? Is the call by any leader for larger families in this country a wise one? Is there any rationale for Stalin's call? Joining me now is Poonam Muthreja. She's Director, Population Foundation of India. And I'm also joined by S. Dharnidharan. He's spokesperson of the DMK. Appreciate both of you joining us. I want to come to you, Poonam Muthreja. You're listening to politicians. First, it was Mohan Bhagwat of the RSS saying we must have more children. We are becoming an aging population. His was more in the context of the fear that India is becoming an aging society. And now you've got it in the context of delimitation, M.K. Stalin raising his voice. Do you believe these are wise calls to make in a country of 1.4 billion people?
Such calls are not only unwise, but misguided, and I'd like to say harmful. They reduce women only to their reproductive roles. Whatever happens, you put more burden on the women, you undermine women's reproductive autonomy, and reduce complex issues into simplistic demographic targets, which is not going to work, because once fertility begins to decline, it doesn't reverse. You can stabilize fertility by investing in women, by giving, parental leave to both parents. You can give incentives for childcare, for good care of the mother and economic opportunities. but you cannot just reverse and put a button on and off. So what they're talking about is completely unrealistic. It won't happen. And why always, how easily, whatever happens, we go to women without thinking of their economic burdens, their aspirations beyond being just mothers. It also reinforces very outdated gender stereotypes, putting pressure on women while overlooking any responsibility of the men, which is in this case, talking about delimitation in the context of the historical aspects, finding solutions, the fact that we gave up and stopped delimitation process, we froze it in 76, then again in 2001. Why don't we bring in those historical aspects and discuss them? Why we froze then and why we may need to freeze again.
Let me take that to S. Dharnidharan, because what you're hearing, we thought, Mr. Dharnidharan, that the Tamil Nadu government has been traditionally seen as among the more progressive, particularly when it comes to demographics, to population, the southern states in general. Now we are finding that a chief minister of a state is telling people have more babies. This reverses all that your governments have stood for, all that southern states have stood for in the last several decades. Why are you creating this bogey of delimitation? Is it simply because there are elections next year and this is pure fear-mongering?
Then, Rajdeep, then I'd ask you, one of the first articles on delimitation was written by India Today. It came 15 months back that total number of seats will increase to 848 and South India's total representation in the parliament will reduce from 25% to 17% and Tamil Nadu's representation will reduce from 7.2% to 5%. But having said that, I'd like to clarify to my previous speaker, our leader M.K. Stalin has done more for women than anyone else have done in Tamil Nadu so far. Numerous schemes. But having said that, what did he say? He says earlier we used to tell newlywed couples, take your time, have babies whenever you want. But now, because the way the union government is acting, I wouldn't say it anymore. If you want to have it, you can have it as quickly as possible. Why is he saying it? Because what was delimitation? As per Article 82, constituencies can be redrawn based on population. It was frozen in 1976 by Indira Gandhi. Why? Because to incentivize states that followed single child policy religiously, Tamil Nadu followed religiously. Why? In the interest of the nation. But 2001, even Vajpayee, understanding that, froze the delimitation for 25 years. Now we are asking to freeze the delimitation, but BJP is saying no, delimitation will happen. So now we are being disincentivized. BJP
is saying that even if there is delimitation, Mr. Dharnidharan, it will be pro rata, that there will be no reduction in seats in proportion to seats that North India gets. In the circumstances, is your leader barking up the wrong tree at the moment with fear-mongering? When delimitation happens, you can have this debate. At the moment, you're preempting the debate.
No. They are only saying there won't be any decrease in seats. I know there won't be decrease in seats, but what will happen is, because nowhere population has declined, so there won't be decrease in seats. But there will be proportional decline, is what we are saying. Because that is what the Article 82 says. Otherwise, and unlike other bills, you don't need to pass the bill for delimitation. Unless you put a freeze on it to an amendment, it is bound to happen when December 31st, 2025 will pass and 2026 will happen. That's what the Constitution says. So we are saying, like the previous government, work on an amendment to freeze it, or share an amendment in which you say that the proportion of the seats in Tamil Nadu will be constant. I haven't heard the word proportion from the Home Minister or the Prime Minister. They are only saying seats won't decrease. But the point is, its proportional decrease is envisaged, and no one has clarified on that matter. And
so you're calling for you're saying anything that is done on delimitation should be proportionate. But I will ask you once more. Why should a chief minister encourage in any form people to have more children, knowing that it can affect their economic condition? Why do it at all? Why should people in high public office, whether it is a Mohan Bhagwat or today it's a Stalin, for different reasons, ask people to have more babies? Mr. Dharnidharan.
Comparing apples to orange. Mohan Bhagwat said we should have for religious reasons, for religious purpose. But our chief minister is literally not saying have, but he's saying the union government through its policies will makes me say that don't delay and have children, is what he's saying. Even few months back he said the same thing. That's what even then he was very careful. He's saying earlier we used to say have 16 and be happy, then we stopped saying, then we said be happy. Now because of the union government, I may have to again restart saying have 16 and be happy. So we have to be very careful. He's saying union government is forcing us to do this. He's not saying go have more children. He's saying union government is disincentivizing Tamil Nadu. He's telling it rhetorically for the people to understand. Of course, people have to understand what the union government is trying to do. It is unfair. It is not democracy. When delimitation happen, they can
you are mixing
5 or 6 states.
No, you can make the political arguments without, so you are also, your party knows the social implications, the economic implications of having more children. Poonam Mutreja, you're hearing a politician saying, look, we want certain clarifications on delimitation. That's what is the big fear. Do you believe that this could explode? That we are sitting on a ticking time bomb? Because the fact is the Hindi heartland states have exploded population-wise compared to the south. There is that issue. We are a divided society even when it comes to demographics. You've had the southern states virtually achieving world-level fertility rates, while North India, while the rates have declined, still remains well ahead of the south. So there is a question mark.
There is definitely a question mark, and the demographic transition theory suggests that regions at different stages of population growth require tailored policy responses. The rationale behind freezing delimitation in 1976 was exactly that. What I want to say, Rajdeep, is that mixing whether it's politics, rhetoric, or the lack of debate, good alternatives, discussions on delimitation is very separate from asking people to have more children. You know what? The state of Tamil Nadu or any of the southern states, which, as you said, have done so well in not just fertility. They invested in education, health, better governance, better autonomy for women, more empowerment. Are we going to reverse all that? Because without that, you will find what's happening in Bihar and UP and the northern states is because women have less education, women have less access to good health services, do not have the agency to make decisions about their reproductive choices. Is that what we want to do? Take those lessons from Bihar and UP into Tamil Nadu. And finally, there is a complete mixed, a confused response from the southern states where they are saying that either women should have more children or even wanting to penalize. You know, above all, the principles of non-penalizing states that followed the population stabilization agenda must remain central to the proposed solution. And we need more discussion and debate, but let's not enter into women's bedrooms and dictate what is going to take us back, take not only South India, but the rest of the country back by many years for women.
Let me therefore get a final comment from you, Mr. Dharnidharan. Are you aware that, your strength today of Tamil Nadu is you've got your act together on these social indices? Surely your state doesn't want to pull back. You don't want to go back to the past, right? Am I correct? Therefore, is this pure politics? I ask you one last time. Is your chief minister playing pure politics?
Absolutely. There's no politics in it. As I said, even your channel suggested it's going to increase. Now, the whole point is the chief minister is not ordering or even dictating. He is only suggesting. It's more so like said in a rhetoric, making poke at the union government's policy to disincentivize Tamil Nadu for following the single child policy. It is poking at the union government's policy. So why are you disincentivizing us? That is the question here. Why are you disincentivizing?
You're saying it's rhetoric. You're saying it's rhetoric.
Today, right?
You're saying it's rhetoric. The question is rhetoric sometimes can spiral out of control. Poonam Mutreja and Mr. Dharnidharan, I want to leave it there. I think we want to, the fact is, those in public life have to be very careful of the words they use. I'm going to leave it there at the moment. The last thing we need in this country is a clarion call to really have more babies. This is not really what should be India's priority. Let me turn, since we are staying with the south for a moment, to neighboring Karnataka, where interestingly inside pictures have been obtained by us of the new Karnataka Assembly Lounge. And there is a luxury splurge now for the Karnataka MLAs. Pictures of recliners and massage chairs have been accessed. The recliners and massage chairs are for the MLAs' power naps. So if you're in Karnataka, you can get these special massage chairs now as part of the assembly. The state is struggling with finances, but that doesn't stop our MLAs of Karnataka from getting these special recliners now in the assembly building for their power naps. Our correspondent on the spot there, Sagai Raj, tells you more.
These are those 10 luxury leather recliners which has been installed at Karnataka Assembly. And these recliners are being kept to ensure that all the MLAs who come to Assembly session relax post lunchtime. And this will be here only during Assembly session. After that, it will be taken back to the vendors. Speaker have justified this particular move, stating that there are senior citizens, senior MLAs who want to relax for some time whenever they have lunch and post lunch. Just like your brothers or your father or uncle who are old age, you should also treat the MLAs like your friends, not like enemies. And this particular move has invited a lot of criticism, especially opposition have criticized it, stating that there are a lot of pending amount which should be released by the government, especially to the contractors and even for the guarantee schemes. But the priorities of the government is to buy recliners for the MLAs.
Okay, more breaking news coming in, where we are now getting CCTV footage of the dastardly murder of a Congress worker in Rohtak in Rajasthan. In Haryana, sorry. The prime accused, Sachin, is now seen dragging the suitcase contained the body of the Congress worker. This, remember, had happened, CCTV footage from 10:17 p.m. on February 28. There you can see the accused, Sachin, who allegedly killed the Congress worker, Himani, and was taking her body in a suitcase. This happened on Sunday, and now more details are coming out of the manner in which this terrible crime has taken place. Shocking details emerging in the murder case of Haryana Congress leader Himani Narwal. According to the police, Himani met her killer and boyfriend Sachin on the social media platform Meta. Sources indicating two had a heated argument on February 28, which ultimately led to Sachin fatally attacking Himani. He's been apprehended by the police. Here's a report.
A twist in the probe into the murder of a Congress worker from Haryana. 22-year-old Himani Narwal's body was found inside a suitcase near Sampla bus stand on Rohtak-Delhi highway on March 1st. The police say Himani was allegedly murdered by Sachin, who met her on the social media platform Meta. The two had become friends. On February 27th, Sachin allegedly stayed at Himani's house, but things took a dark turn the following day. On February 28th, the two allegedly had an argument that escalated into violence. Sachin allegedly tied Himani with a dupatta and strangled her using a mobile charger cable. After the murder, Sachin allegedly stuffed Himani's body into a suitcase, took her gold ring, chain and mobile phone and fled the scene. The police have arrested Sachin. During questioning, Sachin alleged that Himani had been blackmailing and extorting large sums of money from him.
वही यही बता रहा है कि मेरी उसके साथ झगड़ा हो गया, बोलचाल होगी और बोलचाल के अंदर उसने उसका गला दबा दिया। डेथ करने के बाद जो उसके जेवर थे, लैपटॉप था, वो वहां से लेके निकल गया था और उसके बाद उसने ये देखा कि भाई किस तरह से बॉडी को ठिकाने लगाया जाए ताकि किसी को पता ना लगे। तो वो सब एक दूसरे से लिंक्ड और सर्कमस्टेंशियल एविडेंस हैं और वो खुद भी मान गया इस बात।
Himani's tragic death has sent shockwaves across the political community, especially within the Congress party. Himani's family remains inconsolable.
आरोपी तो मैं बता रही हूँ, हाँ कोई है और अपना ही है, नजदीकी है, चाहे वो पार्टी से जुड़ा हो, चाहे दोस्त हो, कॉलेज का हो या कोई मतलब रिश्तेदार हो। उसके साथ क्या हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ, किसने क्या किया, जो पकड़ा गया है उसने भी कुछ गलत हरकत करने की कोशिश करी, उसने एक्शन उठाया है तो उसके साथ कुछ गलत हादसा हुआ है। मैं ये मतलब 100% कह सकती हूँ, वो किसी का एक लफ्ज भी गलत बर्दाश्त नहीं करती थी।
अब तक ना ही तो पुलिस को कोई सुराग पड़ा, ना ही कांग्रेस पार्टी का कोई एक आदमी हमारे पास आया, ना भूपेंद्र हुड्डा, भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा की वाइफ, ना और कोई कांग्रेस पार्टी का एक भी सदस्य हमारे पास अब तक नहीं आया है।
The new claims by the alleged killer have deepened the mystery surrounding Himani Narwal's death. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's now turn east to the big story coming from there. First, it was the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi who raised questions over electoral rolls. Then it was the Aam Aadmi Party during the Delhi elections. And now, ahead of next year's West Bengal elections, the Trinamool Congress has hit out at the Election Commission, claiming that same voter ID numbers through epic cards are being allotted to people in different states. The Election Commission had said the duplication of voter ID numbers doesn't amount to fake voters. But the opposition is questioning the EC's clarification. Is this going to be another trigger to a clash between the opposition and the Election Commission? Take a look.
The Election Commission is under fire again. The latest face-off between the Election Commission and opposition started with West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee alleging addition of fake voters in the electoral rolls ahead of state polls next year.
তার সাথে নাম তুলেছে কার মঞ্জিত বাড়ি তার নাম কি তার বাড়ি কোথায় হরিয়ানা এই যত কাগজ দেখছেন সব গুজরাট আর হরিয়ানা আর পাঞ্জাব
The Election Commission of India on Sunday issued a statement. The EC clarified that duplication in epic number does not imply duplicate of fake voters. It claimed some cases of duplicate epic numbers was caused by the use of identical alphanumeric series by two different states or union territories. The EC said it will ensure allotment of unique epic numbers to registered electors. The poll body added that citizens can vote only at polling station they are registered in. The TMC is not satisfied with Election Commission's explanation.
I have said this and I'll say it again. Admitting the error yesterday is here. Please, by tomorrow morning 9 o'clock, accept the error. Admit the error, accept the error. Otherwise, more embarrassment awaits you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
The BJP rallied behind the Election Commission, accusing the Bengal Chief Minister of weakening voters' confidence in the electoral system. Congress leader Praveen Chakravarti rejected the EC clarification. He posted images to claim that a voter with the same voter ID number was listed in two states. The TMC's allegation of fake voters has opened a new can of worms. Earlier, the Congress had alleged manipulation in Haryana and Maharashtra assembly polls, which the opposition lost badly. In all instances, the Election Commission has rejected allegations of foul play. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's now tell you what happened in the markets today, where the Sensex continues its drop. Relatively less than Friday. Today it dropped over 100 points to close at 73,085. The markets have been on a downward spiral, remember, since September last year when they hit lifetime highs. The Sensex has since slipped by 15%. The broader-based Nifty 50 is down by 16% in the process of whopping 94.5 lakh crore rupees of investor wealth has been wiped out. What are the reasons for this meltdown? Does it have to do with US President Donald Trump's tariff threats? Or is there more to it, and is there something wrong domestically? Sakshi Batra from Business Today has more.
Now, what are the key reasons? Well, first up, it's the foreign investors' outflow of money. Since October of 2024, we've seen FIIs offload close to 3 lakh crore rupees, or about $25 billion of investments in the Indian stock markets. They pulled that out. And also, of course, slowing earnings growth, a shift in global liquidity towards the US and China, where valuations appear more attractive. So there has been this theme, sell India, buy China. That's where most of the foreign investors' money is going, and all of that has really led to one downturn. Another factor is the Indian rupee, which has been falling to record low levels in the recent weeks and months and days. Now, amidst this, the signs of macroeconomic weakness, we've also seen the dollar also strengthening as well. Remember, whenever the rupee weakens, that aggravates foreign capital outflow again, further weighing on the market sentiments as well. Now, the third factor is that the investor confidence has been now getting impacted off late because of the rising trade tariff concerns. Now, what we've actually seen is that the stock market sentiment started to turn a little cautious right ahead of the US presidential election back in November. And following the election also, this uncertainty over Donald Trump's trade policies intensified. That raised fresh concerns about a potential trade war that could further fuel a lot of inflation, and thereby question as to whether the US Fed and the Indian markets or the Indian Central Bank will be able to cut rates to propel growth from here. Growth is another factor. India's gross domestic product, or the GDP, has declined for 3 consecutive quarters, starting Q4 of FY24 to Q2 of FY25 as well. So that's another reason. The downturn or the slowing economic growth has been another sentiment breaker. What we've also seen is that India Inc. has also been reporting disappointing quarterly results in Q1, in Q2, in Q3, 3 consecutive quarters where the earnings have disappointed, the profitability has been slowing down as well. And with all of this, remember, the Indian stock markets were consecutively clocking in newer highs, even when the earnings were not matching up. The valuations were at a peak as well. So all of that really needed some kind of a consolidation, and the weakness in the earnings has actually provided that trigger for consolidation as well.
So clearly the markets have plenty to worry about. Let's just pivot and focus on the controversy of the day. Now, tomorrow is the big India versus Australia clash in the Champions Trophy semi-finals in Dubai. But ahead of that, there was a new twist linked to cricket. Cricket and politics merging when Congress spokesperson Shama Mohammad's tweet and rather harsh criticism of team captain Rohit Sharma sparked a backlash on social media. With the Congress party getting involved, Shama Mohammad was forced to delete her controversial tweet where she had said that Sharma needed to lose weight and was the most unimpressive captain that India had had. Shama later tried to clarify that she was only comparing Rohit to his predecessors and that calling him fat was part of her right for expressing her opinion. As I said, Congress Neta's fat jibe slightly overshadowing today the build-up to that match. But let's listen into what Shama Mohammad said.
कि आप जिस तरह से जो बात सामने आई है उसमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप रोहित शर्मा पे जिस तरह से आपने डेरोगेटरी उनके मोटापे का मजाक उड़ा रही हो और एक अभद्र टिप्पणी मैं बस पूछ रही हूँ कि आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं?
नहीं, मेरा क्या है कि ये पहले तो मेरा ये व्यक्तिगत बयान है, आप ये रखो, ये मेरी पार्टी का बयान नहीं है। और दूसरी बात है, सेहत के बारे में बोला है, मैं फिट हूँ तो मैंने देखा एक स्पोर्ट्समैन फिट नहीं है उसके ऊपर बोला है। इतनी बड़ी बात आप लोग ने किया क्यों, मुझे समझ में नहीं आता।
वीएचपी कह रही है कि पाकिस्तान को हराया इंडिया ने, इसलिए शमा मोहम्मद इस तरह की बात कर रही है।
आपको पता है आप मुझे कितने सालों से जानते हो, मैं नेशनलिस्ट हूँ, मैं लिखा हुआ मेरे इसमें, और ये क्या है, मुसलमान होता है तो पाकिस्तान।
Okay, let's go straight across to Sunil Gavaskar. Try and make sense instead of sensation. The former India captain joins me from Dubai. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Gavaskar. You know, I want to start, unfortunately, with a bit of this political googly, because a day before the big match, typically in India, we have what I call weapons of mass distraction, a political controversy over cricket with a Congress spokesperson suggesting that Rohit Sharma is not just an unimpressive captain, but also commenting on his weight. How do you respond when you hear comments like these made by people in political life?
You said political, so to ask me who's been completely apolitical is not get you any real answer. Because honestly, I think there are so many people who will have so many things to say about cricket and cricketers. It's been there for such a long time, and I don't think I'm going to get into reacting to what A or B or C or D says.
But let me ask you, Mr. Gavaskar, specifically about Rohit Sharma, the captain. When someone calls him an unimpressive captain, I'll come back to the weight issue later in the show, but do you think he's unimpressive? Or is he very impressive when it comes to the white ball game? Rohit Sharma, the captain. Cricket question.
Look, his results speak for themselves. He's taken the Indian team to the final of the World Cup in 2023. He's won the T20 World Cup in the ICC World Cup. He's won 5 titles for the Mumbai Indians captaining. He's taken the Mumbai Indians to a final as well. And so, as a leader, he's done what is expected of him on the cricketing field. So, his results speak for themselves.
Your own sense then, as you said, his results speak for himself as a captain. Given that we are now in another knockout ICC semi-final, do you believe that given the way we won yesterday against New Zealand, we are now firm favourites to win the Champions Trophy?
Definitely, with the kind of balance that this team has, the kind of batting depth it has, the kind of options that the captain has. We saw the other day Hardik Pandya being promoted up the order against Pakistan. Akshar Patel had batted 5 in the previous game, but Hardik Pandya came in. Then Akshar Patel was down the order. Rahul came into bat as well. So the options of switching the batters up and down is there with the team management. Also with the bowling. When a team has got 6 bowlers who capable of bowling 10 overs each, it covers for somebody who might be out of rhythm on that particular day, might not be bowling well. So his quota of overs can be bowled by the 6th option. So that way the Indian team is really well covered, and they've been fielding outstandingly. Not quite as good as New Zealand. We've seen some amazing catches taken by the New Zealand players, particularly Glenn Phillips. But India has been fielding really well. In the deep, they've been really outstanding.
But Mr. Gavaskar, someone else who's been pretty outstanding, at least in the match yesterday, was Varun Chakravarti. Has he surprised you? Is he the kind of mystery spinner who could be the match winner we are looking forward to for a while?
Yes, in fact, after the first match, after seeing what the pitch was doing, I did suggest that maybe Harshit Rana could be given a break, and Varun Chakravarti picked against Pakistan. But maybe because Pakistan's a subcontinent team which plays spin better, they're still stuck to the same lineup. But against New Zealand, who don't play spin as well, picking him was a brilliant move. It was the fourth spinning option, and it worked really well. And I think against the Australians also, who don't play quality spin too often, he will be somebody to reckon with.
Would you then play 4 spinners going into the semi-finals and finals? Is that the best combination? Have we found that winning combination of 4 spinners instead of having 2 regular medium pacers?
Yes, because Hardik Pandya is bowling so well with the new ball. If Hardik Pandya wasn't able to bowl his 10 overs, then I would say no. But because he's capable of bowling 10 overs, I would say that this is the best combination to go. Two new ball bowlers, Shami and Hardik Pandya, and 4 spinners.
I want to ask you a question which has troubled many people in the cricketing fraternity. Many, including your contemporaries like the great Sir Viv Richards, have questioned this entire tournament and the way it's been scheduled. India getting to play all its matches in Dubai, the Dubai advantage, while the other players crisscross Pakistan and the UAE. Is there a Dubai advantage, or is it exaggerated?
Well, it does exist. There's no question. Any team that is, in one place obviously will feel that much more confident. You don't have to pack and go, etc. But at the end of the day, on the field, you have to bat better than the opposition. You got to bowl better than the opposition. You got to take your catches to win. And that is what the Indian team, I'm hoping, will be able to do in the next 2 games.
Mr. Gavaskar, I started off with the googly. Let me throw another one at the master batsman. the fitness point. Rohit Sharma, the whole fitness of Rohit Sharma, is he overweight? The tweet that's created a controversy, people see it as body shaming. You come from a generation where I presume fitness didn't matter as much as it matters today. How would you respond to those who say that the likes of Rohit Sharma have...
during our time, fitness mattered during our time as well, but we were not in that sphere of thinking where you had to be slim and trim. And I've said that earlier on also, when there were these yo-yo tests and all that were being taken, say 2016, 2018 or thereabouts, and people were being not considered if they didn't have this fitness. And my fitness test is for a bowler to be able to bowl 20, 25 overs in a day, and for a batter to bat for 4 sessions. If you can bat 3 and 3.5 sessions, then it doesn't matter what shape is, what his waist size is. He is fit to play for India.
So you're saying, Mr. Gavaskar, that the true test of your fitness is whether you can bat the whole day or whether you can bowl the whole day. How much time would you spend in the gym, let's say, compared to on the crease? Would you, today's cricketers spend a lot of time in the gym?
Well, the only gym that I knew was either the Hindu Gymkhana or the Parsi Gymkhana. That was the only gym that I knew. But I'll tell you one thing. I had shin splints. I've still got shin splints, so I cannot run the 2 laps of the ground, more than 2 laps of the ground. Even that would be too much for me. And a lot of people used to think that I was pretending when everybody else was running rounds of the ground. And I would say, look, am I out of breath? I'm not out of breath. I've just got this problem. But if I can bat for a whole day, and if I don't bat for a whole day, you ask for you question my fitness. But if I can bat a whole day, you shouldn't be worrying what my fitness level is, whether I can run 15 laps of the ground or not.
Basically what you're telling us, and presumably the politicians as well, please judge any cricketer, even a Rohit Sharma, by the runs he scores or by the wickets they take. So let's tone down all the chatter over who's fit and who's not. Let the bat do the talking or the ball do the talking. Am I right?
Totally. That's exactly the way. I mean, the bat should do the talking, the ball should do the talking, and the results will be seen.
Well, I hope that they will do the talking in the semi-finals tomorrow, and hopefully also in the finals on Sunday at the Champions Trophy. Mr. Gavaskar, always a pleasure having you on the show. I see you're very well covered. You're dressed in some kind of a sweater. Does that mean it's rather cool in Dubai, which could give us an indication for tomorrow's match as well?
Yes, Mumbai guy, so anything below 30, I start feeling the cold.
Okay, from one Mumbaikar to another, Mr. Gavaskar, always good to have you on the show. Didn't know that story that you couldn't run 2 laps of a ground, but you certainly could bat for an entire day. Fitness at the end of the day, and I can talk about my late father's generation. There used to be a little round on the waistline, but they knew how to play the game and they knew how to score runs. Okay, let's move from all that cricket heat and dust and just frankly what I see as a distraction to our good news today of the day. And the good news comes from the Academy Awards, where there is an Indian connection. The 97th Academy Awards saw another slice of history for Namit Malhotra, the founder of Prime Focus and CEO of DNEG, the visual effects company that bagged its 8th Oscar for Best Visual Effects. Namit is also the producer of an upcoming movie, The Ramayana, and DNEG was honored with the Visual Effects Oscar for its work on Dune Part 2 at the Academy Awards last night. Supervisors Stephen James and Reese Salcom accepted the prestigious award alongside the production VFX supervisor Paul Lambert and special effects supervisor Gerd Nefzer. Namit now joins us. Appreciate your joining us, Namit. Congratulations. Your company seems to have made it a habit to pick up awards for visual effects. 8th Oscar for Best Visual Effects to the company.
Yes, Rajdeep, that number is correct, and it's a pleasure to be talking to you.
But tell us more about what is it that you believe stands out in this whole world of VFX and visual effects that are becoming more and more important in movies, both here in India as well as in Hollywood?
So I think, we've always looked at the secret, as I've been asked many times, like what's the secret to sort of successful Academy Award successes? And, in terms of storytelling, the basic premise is, it's a tool in the hands of a director. And the idea is that you've got to embed the ability to create these beautiful images and vistas, but in service of the story. And that really is the challenge, because what the director's basically saying is, I have this idea, I have this vision that I need to take my audiences into this world or into this place, and they must feel like they belong there. So the fidelity of the image, the quality of the storytelling has to make you feel like you are actually seeing and experiencing that live. And that is really the quality or the aesthetic that we have to hit every time when we say raising the bar, because it is all about seamless storytelling. That's really the science of high-end visual effects.
And is there any great difference between what's done in Hollywood today and what's done here in India? I know that you've been involved with Brahmastra, for example. There have been films being made in this country where, again, VFX effects matter a great deal. Is there a big difference between the West and India? Or when it comes to VFX, we're as good as they get?
See, the interesting paradox is that most of the Hollywood films that are being made today, the bulk of their artist groups today come out of India. So there are more Indian artists on any given Hollywood film than there are Western people. But that is the odd dynamic, that you actually have less people in India working on Indian visual effects films than they are in, let's say, on the Hollywood side. And that's a function of the marketplace, because Indian filmmakers are now slowly and steadily starting to look at more and more films that can use this tool set or use this ability. And that's something that is happening off late. If you go back 10, 15, 20 years, visual effects were far and few between. But now, with films like Brahmastra, as you mentioned, we had Kalki last year, we've had RRR, and a lot of other films are now starting to really push the barriers of what Indian storytelling would normally conceive versus what's possible. And that sort of is helping bridge that gap quite quickly.
My final question to you, your favorite Hollywood film, when this was Oscars night, when it comes to VFX effects, your company's won 8 of them, so which is your favorite?
It's hard to pick, but obviously, I personally have been a massive Christopher Nolan fan and now a Denis Villeneuve fan. Each of the directors have helped us win 3 Oscars each, so it's a very close tie. So between the two of them, we're sort of a bit of a conflicted outcome, but Dune 2 for me particularly, really, Dune 1 raised the bar high enough for the visual effects industry, and I think thanks to Denis, he was able to raise it yet again on Dune 2. And that is sort of currently the absolute favorite in terms of what we've been able to deliver as a company is absolutely, lots of pride in that.
Namit, to you and your entire team, congratulations. It's a big day for you, and a big day in a way to have a slice of India also in some way represented at the Oscars. Thanks very much, Namit Malhotra, for joining me now. Remember, it's Oscars night. It was Oscars night, and the creme de la creme of Hollywood turned out to celebrate the best. Anora was the clear winner of the night. Mickey Madison bagged Best Actress for the film. Sean Baker bagging Best Director. Adrian Brody won the lucrative Best Actor award for his role in The Brutalist. And Zoe Saldana was one of the first winners, bagging the Supporting Actress award for her role in Emilia Perez, while Kieran Culkin of Succession bagged his first Oscar as Best Supporting Actor for his role in A Real Pain. Dune Part 2 won the Best Oscar for Sound, and Sean Baker's highly praised film Anora bagging the Academy Award for Best Editing. There was also a film on Palestine that won a documentary award. So plenty for all the winners to celebrate at the Oscars. Okay, I want to leave you tonight with our image of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Well, the camera follows him everywhere, including to the Gir forest. The Prime Minister was on a lion safari at the Gir forest, and that is our image of the day. Happy shooting. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri. Jai Hind. Namaskar.